purpose of this dissection is to separate the block into its main organ groups. The entire block of organs is placed with its posterior surface facing the prosector. This block includes the kidney, urinary bladder, urethra, rectum, distal end of the rectosigmoid colon, and the testes covered by the tunica vaginalis, namely the genitourinary, abdominal, and thoracic organs. The first step is the removal of both adrenal glands. Both adrenals are covered by the posteromedial reaches of the diaphragm. To expose the glands, the diaphragm is cut and reflected on each side. The outlines of the right gland are discernible through the periadrenal fat. The periadrenal fat is dissected off the gland in situ until its surface is clearly delineated. It is then freed by sharp dissection along its margins. Note the large adrenal vein draining into the inferior vena cava. To expose the left adrenal, the diaphragm on this side is cut and reflected. The removal of the gland is again preceded by resection of the periadrenal fat. Note the large left adrenal vein, which drains into the renal vein on this side. Several cuts are made to study the cut surfaces of the gland. The yellow cortices are of normal width. The brown color of the medullars on each side is due to autolysis, the normal color of the intact medulla being gray-white. The left ureter is mobilized up to the pelvis of the kidney. The periureteral space is continuous with a perirenal space between the renal capsule and the surrounding fat. The perirenal fat is removed by a combination of blunt and sharp dissection. The ureter is then opened as far down as possible. The same procedure is followed in the dissection of the right ureter and kidney. The ureter on this side is opened as far down as possible. To expose the left renal artery, the retroperitoneal fat is cleared. The right renal artery is similarly exposed. The testes are separated from the specimen by transection of the spermatic cord. On opening the tunica vaginalis, the surfaces of the testis and epididymis are exposed. The capsule of the kidney is again stripped off to expose the renal surface.
With cystoid macular edema, blood vessels in the retina begin to leak. When this occurs, it can cause the macula to swell or thicken. Because the macula is responsible for our central or pinpoint vision, macular edema will affect your ability to see clearly.
You